Countless times over the years, Larry had tried to convince his wife, and himself, that he was a policeman only during the hours of duty. Susan didn't believe that for a minute, but he offered proof and stood by it. His leisure interests were completely unconnected with the job. He didn't spend his Saturday nights down at the police club, and none of his really close friends were policemen. What other Bobby could say that? But when he was candid with himself, he knew no leisure regime could change what he fundamentally was. And right this very minute, it had dawned on him that a certain old chestnut was true. There was no such thing as an off-duty cop. On the strength of his discovery, he was prepared to give in and confess he was a copper in toto. He was Detective Sergeant Lawrence Jackson, right down to the bone. The facts spoke for themselves. He was in Marbella on the Costa del Sol at the height of the summer season. It was a blistering hot day. He was on a sun-zapped beach. There were beautiful women all around him, and what was he doing? He was lying behind his paperback playing detective with the smells. Years ago, following a sinus washout, he'd been told by an ear, nose and throat specialist that he had a condition called hyperosmia, which meant he was uncommonly sensitive to odours. The doctor hadn't said whether it was regarded as an affliction or a godsend. Most of the time, it seemed a bit of both. Today, the aromas from the harbour and the surrounding bodegones drifted out past the stacked boats at the Club Maritimo Marbella, wafting low across the scalding sand, mingling with the clammier smells of the beach. Gently breathing the cocktail, Larry estimated that the air round his head carried major traces of Nivea, UV stat, seaweed and sweat, with trenchant whiffs of hamburger and diesel exhaust. He lowered the book and looked around. Even though he knew he fitted his layout, 30-something in shorts and T-shirt, glazed with sun cream, recumbent, under a straw umbrella, surrounded by a chaos of family beach tackle, he felt conspicuous, spotlit somehow. The trouble, he knew, was that he didn't take enough holidays. Sprawling about the place, any place just ticking over in neutral, was something he was bad at. It made him edgy. It was another kind of stress. He propped himself on his elbows and took a deep breath, realizing that every time he got a sniff of sunblocked skin with foody undertones, he would think of this beach. He would have vivid recall of blinding sun on the shimmering sea, of hot bone-dry sand and warm lolling bodies. 2 bodies in particular, powerfully attractive on lounges only 5 feet away, playing hell with his plans to get on with his book. He lay down again, exhaling slowly, feeling clamped by the heat. Eyes closed, he let the burble of beach sounds wash over him. After a minute he caught the voices of his 2 young sons. One was crying, the other complaining. Then he heard Susan bark one of her threats. The boys went silent,